Hi folks, Fuzz here, and welcome back to Star Ocean after what seems like an eternity. It hasn't actually been an eternity, it's only been a few weeks, but I've just been so busy with other projects that this has had to take a bit of a back burner, I'm afraid, and I'm very sorry about that. But now that I've platinumed Ni no Kuni 2 and I'm pretty much done with that series, hopefully we can come back to what has always been a bit of a side project, hasn't it, in all honesty, and start cranking out some episodes for it once again. So, yes, thanks for bearing with me, guys. Thank you for your patience. I know that many of you that were playing along with me have probably moved on from this game by now, and that's a shame in one sense, but it's fine in another. I do understand that, you know, we all have to play at our own pace and what have you. But also, there's going to be people that are finding this series as the episodes are coming to completion, the final episodes, so that it should hopefully always have some audience, even though the episodes themselves are coming out at kind of higgledy-piggledy times. Higgledy-piggledy, I think I have been playing too much Ni no Kuni 2. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get started. And I have had a bit of a play around, but I've reloaded my game since, just to remind myself of exactly what we were doing, where we were in the game, since it has been a few weeks. I've played other games since, and my memory has kind of got everything jumbled up. But hopefully, I know what we're doing. So I'm here in Tatroi. We did finish off the last episode I checked in Astral City. All I did was get on the boat and travel across to Tatroi. And the reason for that is that there's actually one quest which we missed in the previous episode that I do want to get done now. We've done a lot of quests in this area and in Astral City. There's a few we've got in our log that we can't do until we come to some of the later areas on the planet of Roke. But there is one quest, or actually 3 quests in one, which we can do now, and that's what we're going to start today with. So make your way over to the northeasterly section of the city of Tatroi, and we're going to head into this house here. Now, we're going to be introduced to another NPC known as Jasmine, and Jasmine is, as you can tell by the title of the building, going by the title of Queen of Inventors. Now, the interesting thing about Jasmine, the reason we want to speak to her, is she's going to have a bunch of quests for us. In particular, 3 quests, and they're all relatively easy quests. We just need to hand in some items for each one, so we can actually complete them all if we've got all the items in one go here. And the first thing we need to do for quest number 1, which is called the first errand, is just hand in 10 fresh sage. So not a big deal there. We'll just go ahead and complete this one. Right, and so long as we complete it, the second quest is then going to be made available to us. And surprise, surprise, the second quest is called the second errand. Oh, right, before we actually speak to her, though, we need to access... Is it this open chest here? I think it's this open chest, yes. There it is. That's where she keeps her rewards, you see, for those that actually do the work that she should, or perhaps could be doing herself. I mean, she could just go to the shop and buy 10 fresh sage. But she's too busy inventing things, I guess. Right, okay, so for the second errand, we're going to have to go and collect 9 bee stingers. Now, check your log before you start going back out into the wild. You might already have 9 bee stingers. If you don't have all 9, then they're very easy to get, actually. Just pop outside of the city of Tatroi into the local plains and just start entering the enemy encounters there. You should find plenty of bees, and it's not exactly a rare drop, so it shouldn't take you long to get all 9. I do recommend having the entomology skill, which is a skill from Phase, boosted up as much as possible. That would just increase the rate that you get those bee stingers. So, yeah, we just need 9 of them. And that will complete the second quest of 3. And as before, we'll collect our reward and we'll speak to her once more here for the third and final quest. Now, this particular quest, Jasmine is going to request 13 pieces of wool. Now, if you don't have 13 pieces of wool and you're thinking, oh no, what do I need to do to get 13 pieces of wool? Well, actually, it's very easy. Just go over to Astral City, head over to Mobius's one stop, and you can purchase them there. If you don't have any at all, you can get all 13, I think, for 2,600 foal. So you haven't got to kill anything for these ones. And there we have it. I don't know why I didn't do this set of quests in the last episode, or in one of the other episodes where we were around Tatroi, but it doesn't matter now. It's all done, all sorted, and we can move on. So let's go ahead and exit the city. actually, before we head out of the city, there's a really important thing we need to do. And it's not going to seem important, but trust me, you want to do this. There's a quest that we're going to be able to complete later. Now, first of all, you want to make sure you've got a food item known as sweet fruit. This isn't the thing I want to tell you need to do right now, but you just make sure you got this, okay? Sweet fruit. If you don't have one, you can easily purchase one from the food shop in Astral City. Not a big deal, just make sure you've got that. But the thing that you will need to do here is, in Tatroi, you'll see this cat girl sitting down on some crates. You need to speak to her, okay? And when you speak to her, the impulsive girl, she'll give you that little bit of dialogue saying she's forgetting something. That's it. That's all she says. There's no quest, nothing. You don't say anything back to her. But if you don't speak to her and get that bit of dialogue, you will not be able to pick up the quest that we're going to pick up a little bit later on in this episode. I don't know why. I don't know why this triggers it. It's very strange. But trust me, make sure you speak to her. Now what we're going to do, once we've spoken to her, is finally leave the city. And don't forget, if you haven't already, just pick up that piece of sweet fruit from Astral City. And we're going to go bunny hopping. And the reason for that is we're going to start getting used to how the bunny works. And we're going to ride it back to the area where the Calnus is located. Or just before where the Calnus is located. So we're not actually going to be proceeding with the story at this section. But we are going to be getting another couple of quests done. Oh, the other thing that you'll want to make sure you've got, if you've been following along with my walkthrough, you should have it anyway, is a quest called the Seafarers Treasure. So this is picked up from the dutiful sailor in Tatroi, okay? So you should have that anyway if you've been following along, but just in case you haven't, then make sure you pick that up before heading out into the wild here. And we're going to hop on this bunny here, which is located just after the bridge. And to hop onto a bunny, just approach it from behind and hit the X button on the PS4 controller. Now, while we're heading over towards where the Calnus is closely located, I'm just going to run over quickly what bunny hopping, bunny riding is all about. So, with a bunny, you're going to be able to access areas that you can't access normally on foot. Okay, I think we've just come the wrong way here, have we? No, I think that's fine. So yeah, you can actually access areas you couldn't normally access on foot. Now, a couple of things to point out about that is while you're riding a bunny, you're not going to be able to access things such as harvest points, mining nodes, and things that your character's skills would normally interact with. That said, something you can do is open treasure chests without dismounting. Now, opening treasure chests can be a bit of a pain while you're on your bunny because they take such big strides at any one time. It can be hard to line up directly in front of the chest in order to open it, but it is possible, okay, with a bit of patience. And sometimes it's worth just having that bit of patience, because if you dismount a bunny, it's not going to wait around for you. It's going to run away and you're going to be on foot again. You're going to have to hoof it until you find another bunny. Okay, the other thing that you are going to need to note about when using a bunny is the fact that you are still going to be entering enemy encounters if you run into enemies. However, they are generally easier to avoid while on a bunny than when you're on foot. Okay, so you will still have enemy encounters, but you can avoid them a little bit easier. Also, a couple of other restrictions, or at least one other restriction: you cannot open the main menu. I don't know why this is. It sounds like a stupid restriction to me. It's quite frustrating. So if you want to do things like check out your quest or heal up your party members after battle, it's not going to be possible unless you dismount. Again, not sure why they've put that in the game, but that's the way it is, so I need to point it out to you. You can open your main map with the start button though. So there's a chest over here. Let me just try and access that, and you'll just see why it's a little bit trickier with a bunny here. So there it is. Ah, it was easy this time, but it can be tricky. Trust me, it can be tricky because I've had trouble myself. Right there. So actually, just opposite this chest is where we need to be to grab the quest item for that dutiful sailor, the old pendant. So I'll just show you where that is on the map here. We're actually very close to the Calnus. That's just over to the west from this location, near where that save point is at the bottom of the screen. So you can see where we are, point of reference there, to grab that old pendant, that sparkly thing just on the beach. There might be a couple of other sparkly things as well around here, which you may or may not think are worth grabbing. But I can't see anything that's amazingly obvious to me at the moment. So while we're in this location, then we've got the old pendant. There's another one. Oh, full on basil. We're going to head over to the dock area. Now, we spoke to that weird cat person a few minutes ago, And that's going to give us access to this quest, which is given by this other cat person over here on the dock. Now, if you didn't speak to that other cat person, this person here is just going to give you a little bit of dialogue, saying she's hungry, but not actually give you the quest. Whereas now, we are going to get the quest because we did speak to that other NPC. It's very strange, very weird. I don't know any other quest in the game that's triggered in this fashion, but this one is, so there we go. As I mentioned, this one is going to require that sweet fruit, which is purchasable from Astral City. Now, fortunately, I've already gone ahead and made sure we've got that item, so we can hand the quest in immediately here. Right, so we get recipe memo 19, which is basically a recipe that we can use in the synthesis room of the Kaunas to craft the wisdom bracelet. And now that quest is complete, we can head back to Tatroi in order to hand in that other quest, since we need to head back to that area anyway in order to go ahead and make our way to the Astral Desert, which is on the other side of the Tatroi area. But before we do that, we're so close, it's probably worth just having a quick detour back to the Kaunas, seeing if there's anything we want to craft. We can rest up if we want to do so, and just, you know, generally do some Kaunas kind of stuff really that you'd normally do in the ship. But it's a good opportunity since, as I say, we've come all this way anyway. So if we just head down here, hopefully I'm going the right way here, yes I am. Then you'll find the Kaunas just in this clearing here. Don't forget it is invisible at the moment since it's in stealth mode. And Bunny won't actually join us in the Kaunas, unfortunately. But we can go ahead and just sort out our room assignments. Not going to spend too long on those for now. And I'm just going to do, as I say, some synthesis and what have you. Right, so there was actually nothing really for me to do that was all that exciting to show you on the Kaunas. I couldn't really craft anything, and I couldn't invent any new recipes yet. So what I've done is I've just skipped the journey back to Tatroi here, since we will have to do that one on foot. The bunny, of course, has run away by that point. However, one of the things I still recommend going to the Kaunas for, even if there's nothing to do for recipes and stuff, is you will reset all the harvest points around the areas we've already harvested. So at the very least, not only are you going to get a load more crafting materials, but you're just getting a whole bunch of free party skill points as well. So I still recommend, since we're so close to it from the docks, just heading to the Kaunas at the very least just to reset all of those harvest points. And I went and collected all of those on the way back, as we did make the journey back on foot. So here we are back in the city of Tatroi, and we're going to go ahead and hand in that quest to the dutiful sailor. That's the Seafarer's treasure. And I believe then we are up to date on all of our quests for the time being anyway. So we're going to go ahead and speak to him. He's located just near the boat, actually, that would take us to Astral City. And of course he's very, very happy. We've returned the item for him. And the reward is actually pretty decent for this quest, which you'll see in a moment. It's a Seafarer's harpoon. Now that's a nice weapon, however it's not one that can be equipped by our current party. So just hold on to it, it will come in useful a little bit later on. There we have it, and of course we get some experience and some party skill points as well. Right, so as I said, I think we are up to date now on our side quests. So what I'm just going to show you here is the quest that I've currently got in my log, which if you're trying to follow along with me, you should have as well. So these can be picked up from around Tatroi, if you don't have them already, or from around Astral City. I've actually still got this one here from Woodley. I need to do that at some point. Anyway, what you want is the Shoddy Doll, Missing Brother, and Crazy for Grape Juice, okay? Oh, and one thing I really should have done while we were at the Kaunas, I completely forgot, is you can fix the music box for the musical mending quest. So maybe if you're still there, you can go ahead and do that. If not, I'll just do it on the next visit. Do it on the next visit, I should say, as I will. So you should have everything you need to do that one. Just repair that while you're at the Kaunas, and then you can hand this quest in Astral City. So, okay, we've almost done everything that we can do up until this point. Just that musical ending left to go, but I'm not going to worry about that. Again, now I don't have to run back to the ship. So, make sure you got those 3 quests. The Shoddy Doll, Missing Brother, and Crazy for Grape Juice. So, these are all going to be completed in the next area. At least the objectives are before we hand them in again back here. So, we can't do them right now, but we just need to make sure they're in our log. Alright then guys, well, as we've pretty much got up to date with all of the side quests, we're going to crack on with the story. So we'll leave that for the next episode. We're going to be making our way over on a bunny, of course, to the through the Astral Desert and further into the planet Roke. So I did mention when we first came to this planet, didn't I, that we were going to be here for a long time. And hopefully you can see what I meant by that, because trust me, we're not even nearly done with this place. Okay, so this is a major part of the adventure. But anyway, guys, I'm going to finish off here for today. So thanks for stopping by, and thanks again for your patience if you're one of those that have been waiting for this episode. And if you're not, if you're just somebody that's found this whole series later on, a couple of years after whatever I completed it, then, you know, thanks for joining me anyway. I appreciate your support, and I hope you've enjoyed watching. So if you have, don't forget to leave a like, and come back soon for more Star Ocean 4. So I should be cracking on with more episodes next week, now that I've got more time to do so. See you then, goodbye.